In Bridgerton Season 4, Part 2, the world itself becomes an antagonist. The Ton isn't just gossiping in the background, it's watching, judging, and waiting for a misstep. Every glance, every whispered rumor, every public appearance carries weight. For Benedict and Sophie, society is a cage, and every choice they make has the potential to shatter more than hearts. It could destroy reputations, futures, and even lives. Sophie understands this better than anyone. She's lived her entire life on the edge, aware that one wrong move could erase her from the only life she has left. And now, with Benedict's proposal looming, the Ton's invisible hand presses heavier than ever. The life of a mistress is a gilded cage, yes, but it's also a spotlight on every risk Sophie has ever taken. Acceptance could secure her safety in the short term, but rejection could unleash chaos, not just for her, but for Benedict, for their families, and for the fragile love that binds them. Part 2 emphasizes this tension in ways that Part 1 could only hint at. Every scene in the trailer radiates unease. The masks, the dances, the stolen moments, they are all reminders that the Ton's scrutiny is relentless. Sophie isn't merely choosing a life with Benedict, she's choosing a life under constant observation, where every interaction could be dissected, where her autonomy is threatened at every turn. And Benedict, despite his love, is only beginning to comprehend the societal weight of his proposal. He may be willing to bend rules for love, but can he truly protect Sophie from the consequences? Or is he only dreaming that love will be enough to shield her from the world's cruelty? The danger isn't abstract. Lady Aramea Gunn's influence grows stronger with every episode. She understands power, manipulation, and survival in ways that Sophie has only just begun to navigate. The trailer teases her presence as a looming threat, strategic, intelligent, and ruthless. She is not a villain for the sake of drama. She is a calculated force, someone who knows that Sophie's connection to Benedict and her late father undermines her carefully constructed world. Aramea's shadow over Sophie's life turns every decision into a gamble. Accept the proposal, and Sophie might gain comfort but remain under Aramea's scrutiny. Refuse, and she risks retaliation and exposure in ways that could destroy her completely. This isn't just romance, it's a game of survival, and Sophie is forced to play it perfectly. Meanwhile, the stakes of physical and emotional intimacy escalate. The infamous bathtub scene is more than sensual. It is symbolic of the tension between desire and survival. Every moment of closeness between Benedict and Sophie carries a silent, unspoken question. Can love exist when one party risks everything simply by participating? Benedict may see passion as a bridge to connection, but for Sophie, every touch is a gamble. Her heart is involved, yes, but so is her life, her safety, and her future. And the more deeply she falls, the more dangerous the world becomes. This isn't the Bridgerton of frivolous romance. This is a Bridgerton where every act of love carries consequence. Every stolen moment, every intimate gesture, every shared laugh could ripple outward into disaster. And then there's the question of identity and autonomy. Sophie isn't just deciding whether to love Benedict, she's deciding whether she can maintain her dignity and selfhood within the parameters he's offering. Can she survive the demands of a relationship where societal expectations and hidden rules dictate her every move? Can she retain her power, her independence, and her right to exist on her own terms while still being the woman Benedict loves? And as the trailer hints, the answer may require a choice that shocks the Ton and the fandom alike. Every glance, every whispered word, every calculated move in Part 2 suggests that Sophie's decision is not just about romance, it is about defining her life on her terms, in a world determined to deny her agency. So, the burning question remains. When Sophie finally faces the moment of truth, will she submit to the safety Benedict offers, risking her autonomy, or will she defy expectations, say no, and assert her power in a way that could redefine the entire Ton forever? And if she chooses to walk away, will Benedict have the courage to truly see her? Or will his dreams crumble under the weight of reality?
Sophie Beck has never had the luxury of making choices without consequences. From the death of her father, Lord Penwood, to the cruelty of her stepmother, Lady Aramea Gunn, every decision she's made has been about survival. And now, Benedict's proposal, his offer for her to become his mistress, throws her into a dilemma that goes far beyond love or attraction. This isn't a moment of romance, it's a moral and existential crossroads. Accepting his offer would mean security, comfort, and the chance to step out of the shadows of abuse, but it would also mean sacrificing her autonomy, her dignity, and the right to exist publicly as herself. Rejecting him would protect her independence, but could mean walking away from the only man who has truly seen her, the one person who makes her feel alive in a world that has long tried to erase her. Every heartbeat, every glance, every moment with Benedict is layered with risk, and Sophie knows it. The stakes couldn't be higher. Love in Bridgerton Season 4 Part 2 is no longer a game, it's a battlefield. The world around Sophie doesn't forgive mistakes. Every misstep could ruin her reputation, strip her of any protection she has, or leave her exposed to the relentless cruelty of Lady Aramea. Benedict may think he's offering her a fairy tale, but Sophie understands the danger beneath the gilded surface. To him, the proposal is romantic, a promise of closeness and desire, but to her, it's a potential trap. She sees the bars behind the velvet curtains, the shadows hiding in every gesture, the consequences that Benedict cannot afford to imagine. And the more he presses, the tighter the trap feels. Episode 5, Yes or No, isn't just about answering a question. It's about weighing every possible outcome, the emotional risk, the societal risk, and the real physical danger. Every interaction between them is fraught with tension. The bathtub scene, anticipated by fans, becomes a symbol of this struggle. It's not merely passion, it's power, vulnerability, and survival all at once. As Benedict reaches for closeness, Sophie measures the cost. One misstep could lead to disaster, exposure, disgrace, even danger to her very life. Her every choice in Part 2 is a battle between heart and instinct, love and self-preservation, fantasy and reality. Benedict himself is on the edge. The man who once dreamed in colors and painted in freedom is being forced to confront a world he never fully understood. His privilege, his lack of obligation, his life sheltered from harsh realities, all of it has left him unprepared for Sophie's reality. She doesn't have a safety net. She doesn't have family or status to cushion her mistakes. Every risk she takes, every step toward love, is calculated with precision born of necessity. And Benedict, he's learning that love alone cannot erase the dangers that Sophie faces. He must confront what it truly means to protect her, not just desire her. And the moment of truth is coming faster than he could anticipate. The tension in the trailer underscores this perfectly. Every look between Sophie and Benedict is loaded with unspoken questions. Every frame suggests a collision course with consequences that could destroy them both. And Sophie's choice isn't just about this moment. It's about defining her life going forward. Will she submit to a role that society and even Benedict expect her to play? Or will she assert her power, risk heartbreak, and say no to the man she loves, forcing him to finally understand what love really demands? And just as the stakes feel insurmountable, the show reminds us that Sophie's struggle isn't isolated. Lady Aramea Gunn looms like a shadow over every decision. The trailer hints at her increasing influence in Part 2, suggesting that her control over Sophie's fate is far from over. Every act of defiance, every choice Sophie makes, draws her closer to confrontation with Aramea, and the cost of losing is nothing less than catastrophic. Love, desire, survival, they are all intertwined in a way that could ignite disaster in a single heartbeat. So, the question lingers, sharper than ever.
Bridgerton Season 4 Part 2 is finally here, and it's about to shatter everything we thought we knew about love, loyalty, and survival in the Tun. Benedict's controversial mistress proposal wasn't just shocking, it was a spark that ignited a firestorm. But now, with the official confirmation of Part 2, one question dominates every conversation. Could Sophie actually say no? This isn't just about heartbreak or romance. This is about power, survival, and a choice that could change everything, not just for Sophie and Benedict, but for the entire Bridgerton world. And if you think you've guessed how it will all unfold, think again, because Part 2 promises twists that will leave the Tun gasping and the fandom divided all over again. Part 1 ended with a decision that rocked the Bridgerton fandom to its core. Benedict, the dreamer, the artist, the man who promised he would always see the world differently, asked Sophie Beck not to be his wife, but his mistress. Those words didn't just challenge the conventions of Regency society, they challenged